In this video, I want to show you all you need to know to audit a smart contract. Auditing is just making sure that your smart contract, your decentralized application, is secure. You want to make sure that when you deploy your contract on the blockchain, there are no problems, there are no bugs, there are no vulnerabilities, and that it is secure as much as possible, because once you deploy your contract on the mainnet, it's there forever. You cannot change it. You have to deploy a new version. So it is really problematic to change the contract. You have to make sure it is secure from the beginning before even deploying the contract. Auditing is basically done for external contracts. You cannot audit your smart contracts because you are the one who wrote them. You can make some tests, but it's not possible to audit your own smart contracts. You have to audit external smart contracts. So for instance, you have a client and they give you some smart contract that they have written, and they ask you to audit those smart contracts. You basically do different things to make sure they are secure. Let's get started. So let's find some smart contract for auditing. First of all, I'm going to show you an example of a smart contract. Let's go for Solidity. Well, instead of that, let's go to search for an audit. Okay, here is the code of this token, the contracts, and the things that we have to audit. Let's say that they want you to audit this token contract, which is the token that they will use for their ICO. So let's say that they want to audit all of these contracts. What I usually do is I take a template that I have somewhere and I audit those contracts following that template. Let me search for that. I think I have it over here. There you go. Audit template. I have here all that you need to know for auditing. Wait. Okay, let's open this audit file. This is a template that I use for creating the audits. It's a markdown file. Markdown is just like HTML, but simpler for writing text documents, where you can format quickly all the information without having to worry about tags and things like that. It's just very fast and very good for writing documents. So here we have the title. First you write the title. In this case, let's take a look at the contracts that we want to audit. In this case, it's called Matrix Token. Let's copy that name. Matrix Token Smart Contract Audit. Audit made by, you can write your name over there. I will leave you this template on the description or somewhere for you to download it and to use it for you. The disclaimer: this is very important because when you audit, you want to make sure that people understand that the audit is just the audit makes no statements or warranties about the utility of the code, safety of the code, suitability of the business model, the regulatory regime for the business model, or any other statements about fitness of the contracts to purpose or their book-free status. The audit documentation is for discussion purposes only. This is very important because the audit is just for discussion. It's a document that you show people and show them, okay, here's what I found, here's what I think has to be improved, and that's about it. I'm not making sure that there are no bugs. I cannot guarantee you that the contract is 100% safe. I cannot guarantee you that I found all the bugs, because sometimes even after doing a lot of work, you leave some bugs, some vulnerability issues, and that's okay because you're not expected to find everything. It's impossible. So this is just your own documentation, discussion document overview. This is where we say what's about the audit. Here you have to talk about, we can just remove that. So basically here you are asking some questions, you're presenting the contracts and you're talking about basically how they work. It's a quick overview of the contracts. How many contracts there are, what's the goal of the contract, what the company is trying to do, talk about the industry, why an audit is required, how will it help them, and so on. This is cool. Nice features. Here is a section where I just highlight some features that I appreciate from the developers, because sometimes it's great to show people that there are some things that are really good, and that I appreciate their work. Then attacks made to the contract. This is just a section where we test different things and we show people what we find. I don't really like the name attacks because we're not really attacking. I would like to remove that, so instead it's critical vulnerabilities found, medium vulnerabilities, low severity vulnerabilities, and line by line comments. This is just you talk about what you find and explain why it is a vulnerability. This is line by line comment. This is the most important section because we go through all the lines of the contract and we talk about each part that we find interesting or important, and we go over there. Then summary, we just write a conclusion. So I always start with the overview and then I go to the line by line comments. This is the best way for doing it because you cannot find the vulnerabilities before taking a deep look at the code. So first the overview, how many contracts there are. In this case we're only auditing this carousel contract, but this contract depends, as you can see, import several. It depends on the token. It basically depends on all of these contracts. So we're going to talk about all of them. I usually like to start talking about the company. So let's find some information about the company. Matrix.ai. This is just for people that don't know exactly about the project. Greatest challenges with blockchain-based collaboration. The Gnome team builds intuitive virtual reality interfaces that enable scientists and engineers to design and simulate with nanoscale precision. Matrix is what allows them to collaborate and reap the fruits of their labor. It's a bit of a problem. Pioneers, innovators respond. First winners are chosen. Peer review. Final winner is chosen. Okay. White paper. The white paper is the best place to take a look at the code, at the project. A decentralized research platform driven by collaboration and competition. So let's start by saying Matrix is a decentralized research platform where collaboration and competition is essential. Matrix is a platform composed by a bounty system and marketplace. Okay, let's copy all that. Matrix is composed of a marketplace with a bounty system, composed of a bounty system and a marketplace for digital assets to be both sold and remixed into new assets. Okay, that's confusing. But we write that just to introduce the product. Then, okay, we don't care about this. Now, let's talk about the contracts. The platform has first of all, I'm making a quick version of an actual audit. In a real audit, you will read the entire white paper, you will understand exactly what is going on to make sure that you're not missing anything, because it's really important to understand the context before doing the work. Platform has how many contracts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 smart contracts that made all of this possible. Now I describe each of the contracts. So first, basic token. If you use this character, you get, I like to use this bold text. If you use double of this, you get this bold text. Basic token is just, let me take a look at the basic token contract. Yeah, it just the basic structure of the token contract with the balances of each user. Basic token, the crowd sale. This is the main contract where the users will send Ether to get tokens back whenever the ICO starts. ERC20 ERC20.solidity, a contract from OpenZeppelin. OpenZeppelin is just a company where they develop contracts that are secure and tested for public use, which has the main functions of a ERC20 token, which contains and so on. You do the same for all the files. You know, you describe them, you take a look at them, you understand what is going on, and you explain them here in the overview. Next, you go to the line-by-line comments. So here you have 10 contracts. You have to start somewhere to describe the contracts. So let's take a look at the most basic contract. I take a look at the imports and I see which contract has the less amount of imports. So here you can see that there are 3 imports that they take in this basic contract, and this one doesn't have any kind of imports, so it's a great place to start. So when I go here, I just do the same thing. I write ERC20 basic solidity, and I start the line-by-line comments. Well, in the first line you can talk about whatever you want, but I like to, at the end of the day, it's about finding things that that can be improved. So even if it's a really small thing, even if it's just a suggestion, it's important to describe it here. Line 1, here in this line I'm saying, in this line the solidity version, the minimum used is 0.3.13. that version is a bit outdated, so it will be good to use a newer version with the latest. I mean, this is just telling people, okay, you're using an old version, even though you're using the caret symbol, you're using an old version as a base. So it will be good to use a newer version for the new features and so on. They don't have to do it, it's just an optional comment that I think could be helpful. Here there's nothing to say about, it's just data supply, the balance. Well, here, the balance of line 11. This function doesn't have the visibility, doesn't have any visibility specified. By default it's public, however it's recommended to specify the exact visibility that you want to have for all of your functions, in this case public, because here I don't see any public, any internal and external keyword. It's great to, in any function, it's great to write the visibility that you want to establish. Another recommendation. Then after, there's nothing much to add in this contract, so let's go to another. I'm going to this contract. Well, you can see that this contract is importing the basic that we just analyzed, and the ownable contract, which is not here. Ownership, ownable. Okay, it's here. We will do the same thing with the ownable contract and so on. We will analyze next this contract, the ownable contract. Then we will go back to this contract, ERC20, and because we have analyzed both of these, we can analyze this one and talk about whatever it's important there. Then we go to maybe the token. You can see that it is important this too, so we will go to those contracts. It is important this contract, so let's go to that, and you can see that it's important a standard token, which is this one, and it is important this too. So we will go back to basic token, we will analyze that, then we will go back to this contract and we will analyze all these functions. Now when you're testing, when you're auditing, you want to test all the functions that you think are vulnerable. For instance, in the concept, in the crowd sell contract, we have all these functions, and you're analyzing line by line the entire contract. This is a big contract, this is the main contract. You're analyzing line by line all the contract, and if you see here, you try to execute this in your head and you write tests for different situations, just like in the past video. You have to write tests when you're auditing about everything that you find vulnerable. So in this function, you will write a test that says the beneficiary cannot be empty. It should not be empty. So you write a test about that. If it's passing, okay. If it's not, you write that information in another section called tests. You write all the tests that you have written, if you have any. Sometimes you don't need tests, but it's important to write all that you're finding. Then once you complete the line-by-line comments, you take a look at the most important sections, and you write here the low severity, the medium, and the critical vulnerabilities that you have found. If any, if you don't have any, you just say there are no low severity. As simple as that. That's pretty much it. After all, you write a summary like the contacts are very well organized, the code is clean, and so on. It's about you. You have to write with your own words whatever you think about this contact, this whatever. And once you have completed all the sections, you go back to, you have to convert this file to a PDF file, because this is a markdown file, as you can see, MD. I have an extension over here that does exactly that, markdown to PDF, and I click on convert to convert that to PDF. You can see here I have the PDF, and it's looking quite organized with the format. All the things that we did, they're well formatted. And that's it. Now, if you don't have this extension, you can just copy this entire thing. Copy. Go to Google and search for markdown to PDF. There's a page here, there are different applications. You select your file. You convert it and you get the PDF. You can see that they are using a different design. They are using a different version of Markdown. That's why we're getting this kind of errors. But that's okay. You just find the different applications for converting your Markdown to PDF. I like to use Markdown. You can write directly the PDF with your own format. It's up to you. But here's how you do it. This is how I do it. I think it has worked very well for me, and it's a great place to start. Now I'm going to show you some audits that I did in the past, like this top coin. The disclaimer, you can see the overview, the token is a virtual currency, to implement there. I'm talking about the contracts. There are a total of 13 smart contracts. These are utility, the main ICO, the interface, and so on. You can see that this is a very big contract. There are a very big audit. There are 13 smart contracts, which is a lot. An extension, price and strategy. That's why it makes sense to analyze. This is great. When you're writing your audit, it's great to say that most of the suggestions have been taken care, and now the code is cleaner and more secure. Because people, when they read the audit, this audit is usually for people that want to know more about the contracts and want to really know if there are things to care about the business. So if you say that the contract is now secure, all of this is fixed, they will be, they will trust more the contracts. Features, attacks made, critical vulnerabilities, medium, low. You can see that there's a lot of different things, line by line comments. You can see I'm talking pretty much about whatever. The main problem is that it is undocumented. Can't just send an instance. As you can see, there are a lot of issues in this contracts, so it's important to write down all of them and describe them as precisely as possible. Code is not usable, it has 11 pages. It's expected to have that many pages. because with 13 contracts you have a lot of work to do and to analyze. So basically that's how you do an audit. You know, you right now know everything that you need to know to audit. How I do it, how you can do it also. But it's also great if you go to audits. For instance, let's search for ICO Smart Contract Audit. If you search for something like this, you will find different, line here, ICO Smart Contract Audit. In this page you will find a lot of different audits by different people. You just take a look at them, you analyze, you read the entire audit, and you take a look and you learn about what they did wrong, what they did great, and you implement that on your own audits. This is a learning process where you try to make the best audit possible to establish your reputation to be a very good auditor. So you take a look at the audits, you learn about them, you see what they have in here. You basically learn the audit and you apply what you think it's useful for your own audits. You can see there's another audit over here. You have an endless amount of audits for learning. This is even an application where you can bid for auditing. There's a lot of different things. There's another application, introduction, benefits, what we do. This is just an explanation. And that's it. You now can start doing audits and get paid for doing so. In the next video I'm going to show you how to actually get money from doing it, where to find the clients, how to negotiate with them, all the business information that you can possibly need. Now it's very important for you to apply what you have just learned and take a look at some contract, whatever you find something on the internet and you audit that by yourself. You create the best audit possible just to learn and to see how it works. Then once you start working, you will be able to show that information, that audit, for other clients, which is very important. But I'm talking about that more in detail in the next video, so hope you find this useful and see you there.